It has not been easy finding a job. I'm one of those people who I work in customer service. I have years and years of customer service.
And my first experience with battling something silent was homelessness.
Ain't no such thing as three times the rent down here. Ain't no such thing as let me see your job. What your job paying down here?
I have a bachelor's degree and 10 years of experience within my bachelor's. And to this day, I cannot find a job above $60,000 a year.
Sometimes I had to get stuck at work and do a double shift. And it's crazy how people would fist bump me and high five me. Made that money, brother. Made that money. Man,
Yep.
F you.
Use this piece. Go back to America where everybody's sitting up gang banging.
And I'm renting some space. Ain't no way I could live by myself in the city that I'm in right now. And he's been talking about the age of disclosure, which is where people come on the internet and are very honest about the fact that they are in fact struggling, because a lot of people are living through the bystander effect in real time and telling themselves that it's just one or two people around them who are struggling, or it's not that many. No, it's all of us. And when I say all of us, I mean I am at the edge of my 30s, steps away from my 40s, and I have one friend who lives by themselves. One. Everyone else lives with a parent, a significant other, roommates, a group of people that they don't know, a rental style situation. Even myself, I make a solid amount of money that made it so that I could live by myself 4 years ago. However, making the amount of money I make now with raises annually, and I'm renting some space. Ain't no way I could live by myself in the city that I'm in right now. I think it's really interesting how the news and media are framing it as if like a lot of people are bad with their money or failing because they don't make that much money. No, we're all failing because this is a greedy system, and by design, we are all being slowly bled to death. Okay? I have a bachelor's degree and 10 years of experience within my bachelor's. And to this day, I cannot find a job above $60,000 a year. The poverty point in the United States is $60,000 a year as of 2026. So there's no way for me to get out of poverty with a degree
That's
and
crazy.
experience.
60,000.
I am driving a very old car that is constantly falling apart, can't afford a new one.
You know, when she said the poverty rate is 60,000, it's not quite that, right? But things are, inflation, things are going up. What happens is they're caught up in spending and spending and spending. See, a man makes 60,000, he's saving, 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 not going everywhere, not getting the latest things, not following the latest trends, but it catches up to you when you're living like you're rich and you're poor, right? Because 60,000 is somewhat poor, but you still can survive. You still can get by if you go somewhere where it's cheaper and you go somewhere where you can get a home. Say if you go somewhere you can get a home for like around 1,500 bucks, right? What's happening is people, in order for people to do that, they may need to work online. But a lot of people are stuck in slavery. Let me let it finish.
Want to move into a new place, can't afford to do that, so decided to leave the country. Putting together the money to leave the country is easier than putting together the money to stay here.
Mm.
That's pretty shocking. I never thought that that would be a reality in my life. The option to literally uproot my life and move to the east coast of China is cheaper than the next year in the United States for me.
What do you know?
My family has lived on this land for over 300 years. I'll be the first one to be somewhere else. But they've made it so that it's impossible. And again, by design. And again, my people were supposed to suffer first, and we've been suffering longest. So we've been quite resourceful in making this all work. But I don't want to be here to have to make it all work anymore. I don't want to be here to watch the fall of this empire. I don't want to be here to hear its death rattle. I just want to go. So in the age of disclosure, it ain't just you, it ain't just me, it ain't just your neighbor. It's all of us. We're all struggling. It's all bad.
This conversation being had now, I saw it coming. I don't know if some of you guys think I've been saying that for the longest. And you know I have. I've been saying this since 2015 when I was here in the Philippines. I've been saying this in videos since around 2016. I actually don't hate on ladies going overseas. I hate on the ladies shaming us for going overseas, right? Because that's what's happened for so long. Look what happened with the passport movement, right? That got popping. I'm an expat. I'm not a passport bro, but look what happened with that, right? They shamed men for leaving, saying, "Oh, men are getting cheap schmecks." Even if men are getting cheap schmecks, I didn't leave for that. I got married, right? But even if men are leaving for that, I gotta tell you, God, man, we gotta get into that. But now what's happening? The shame is on them. They're struggling and they desperately need help. And a wild thing is you get benefits for living outside of the country for most of the year that a lot of people probably don't even know about yet, right? But guess what happens when we're together? I said it in many videos. Yeah, I know what I said. We're supposed to be living out together because we even get more benefits. Let's continue.
I have been seeing a lot about the age of disclosure and people disclosing kind of what they're going through and their financial stressors in this current economy. And I I think it's only right to chime in and kind of tell people what's going on. Don't be ashamed because we're not alone. So I lost my job about a month and a half ago. So I'm feeling it, but I'm not feeling it maybe as hard as a lot of people right now. Luckily, I do have support with my partner. You know, he's able to take on what I can't, luckily. And I have parents and family that will be there to help me, which is more than a lot of people have. So I'm grateful. But it has not been easy finding a job. You know, I'm one of those people who I work in customer service. I have years and years of customer service and management. So usually I can find a job in 2 weeks, no issue. Now, nobody is even responding to me. Nobody is even really looking, actually. And don't even get me started on unemployment. It takes forever to get your funds. You can't reach out to anybody. Like, I can't even imagine what elderly people or people who don't have access to technology are going through right now trying to get these benefits. And with that being said, with this economy, it's not going to get any better. And it's either you float or you drown. And I got to float. So I do have something under my belt, although it's not, it's harder to do with no money, but I've come up with an invention and I've gotten it patent, like a provisional patent. So I'm there, but the money, how can I move forward? You know, it's really not the American dream that they make it out to be. Y'all, when I tell y'all, even getting the provisional patent, which is the cheapest one you can get, it took me half a day to do. So they make it hard on purpose for this to deter people from doing better. Like, I thought this was the land of dreams for you to be able to just come, start your business, be successful, give jobs, start a company to give other people jobs as well. But you can't even do that without jumping through so many hoops. It's crazy. So yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it because I'm just thinking, like, imagine right now my car busted. I mean, it'll get me somewhere, but it's not very reliable. Imagine if I got a job right now that couldn't be remote because nobody is really hiring for that. I would have to drive to work every day. Gas is crazy high, and then next thing you know, my car is gone. Then that's more money that I don't have, and then a job that I can't get to, then I can't work, and then I'll get fired. So yeah, what a cycle. It's great. Doing great, guys.
Yeah, you heard what she said, right? I want to be able to hire people, like say if I want to start a business, because right now, doing things like that is the only way you're going to survive. And you know what's crazy, right? The other girl said I got my bachelor's, and I say this to people every time I have a consultation. I've been saying it for the longest time in a lot of videos. And the reason why I mention that is because you see what she said she needs help with? If she saw this video right now, I could help. I teach people while working online. I teach people where to hire others for a lower price and go to places where you get more money. I teach a lot of things that are very helpful because when I moved outside of the West, I started doing them, right? Because it was much easier. And when you're living somewhere where you can have two homes for $350, that's a win. Right now, I'm in Malaysia. Right now, they're having Songkran here in Malaysia. I'm going to go around the corner in about an hour and have a water fight. They brought Songkran here in Malaysia. That's what men want to experience. That's what men are looking to experience. They call it Dance Dance Frame Fest. And I didn't know about it. I found out about it when I was here. I didn't come out here planning to go to that. I just stumbled into it. But this is the experience men want to experience. Also, females should experience it too. I never ever hated on passports. It's sad that y'all hated on us, but I never hated on y'all, right? But for many years, and I gotta say that right, because I told what I do, but I offer consultations for a very small fee, cheaper than getting a college education. I'm talking about like around $100 under, like seriously, very inexpensive, right? I'll definitely leave a link down in the description.
So, the money here stretches a little further, but it's not really like the main reason. Like I say, I want to grow every day,
He's in the Philippines.
and not like financially. I want to grow, like wake up every day motivated and learn new things and experience new things. And I feel like if I stay back home in the States, that's not gonna happen. I'm just gonna be stuck. I'm just gonna be.
The Matrix. That's the Matrix, what he said, right? Because I talk about it all the time in our consultations. When you're outside, you can think. You're a free thinker. You're a free thinker. You feel like you have the world is your oyster. It's a different experience. That's how I come up with all of my ideas. I've been talking about this. Let me let him talk. This is my brother Manny the Explorers. Manny the Explorers, by the way. Check him out.
In this corporate mentality that I got to get up and go to work and come home and sleep and do it all over again, to the point that you drain yourself and you don't even have time to focus on goals, focus on your passion, do things to help grow yourself, your business or whatever. It's just so crazy how people are just letting money like control the destiny. And yes, I mean, we need money to survive and stuff, but it depends on your lifestyle. Sometimes you really don't need that much. Like, it's just so crazy how a lot of people are just stuck in this mentality that I gotta make more money, I gotta make more money, I gotta work harder and harder. And yes, you make money, but what are you doing with your life? And then God forbid, man, I'm just trying to be honest, a lot of people are not gonna make it to their 50s or even 60s or the retirement age. So what's gonna happen if, God forbid, it's time for you to depart this world? What do you did? What happened with all that money? It's just crazy. When I used to work in a corporate, sometimes I had to get stuck at work and do a double shift. And it's crazy how people would fist bumping me, high fiving, made that money, brother, made that money. Man,
Yep.
F you. Made that money for what? I don't even want to be here in my regular hours. What makes you think I want to stay here and do another goddamn double shift to go home and sleep 2 or 3 hours and come back again? Do you think that's a life? I'm not trying to whine. I'm just trying to say what it is out there, And nowadays with technology, we got a lot of things going on. There's many ways, to make money, and just try to be minimalistic like myself. I'm pretty simple, minimalistic. I don't really need material things. I mean, what's the point? Just to brag or show off? And that's the thing that's happening back home in the States. Like a lot of people think like you gotta show off having, material things, a nice house, a nice car. And that is not really the case, especially if you go outside the New York City area. A lot of places are car centric. And a lot of houses, they're like isolated. So it's like you really don't interact with people. But if you come abroad, a lot of places are like built for communities. They cater for the people. And you just feel the hospitality much better than back home in the States. Like people are much more nicer. They treat you better like king. And it really teaches me like a value in life, like how important people is, how important family is, and what humanity is about. And that's another reason that I decided to move abroad, to experience it, experience it, how it is to live over here. And I feel like once I left back home in the States to move over here to Southeast Asia, like I feel like I lifted a heavy weight off my shoulders. It was a motorcycle. Like I'm stress-free. Of course, I'm not 100% exactly where I want to be, but I already took a huge, massive step in resigning my corporate job over a decade and then doing what I got to do to be over here abroad. I already did one of the hardest parts, and now I just got to do next steps little by little to be exactly where I want to be. But this here is a pretty huge impact on my life. And I got to tell you, every day I'm just happy. I wake up happy, excited. Okay, what's in the agenda for today? What I'm going to do today? Where am I going to go? Where I'm going to film? Where I'm going to document? What I'm going to cook? What I'm going to eat for today, Or just simple life, just seeing nature or here in the city and doing, what I really love. And I feel like I'm still pretty skinny, but I feel like I gained a little bit of healthy weight, relief from the stress and everything. So
Now, you heard what he said. Now, Isn't that the opposite? You heard the first lady say, I need to go abroad. I think you do need to go abroad. You need to figure out what you need to do to go abroad. You know, freelancing. A lot of you ladies need to look into freelancing. A lot of people don't understand about freelancing. Like Mandy Explorers is into vlogging, but you can even freelance and use vlogging. You can have a second channel, have vlogging, push your freelancing business, push your blog. I teach this stuff, right? You can stack streams of income online. I've been doing this since the internet started. I've been building streams of income on the internet. I remember back in 2000, what was it, around 2006, 7, I started my first internet business. I Get To That Marketing Group. I would help people promote Facebook and Twitter followers and YouTube views, right? And help music artists get more views. It was amazing what I would do. But what's happening is men figured out a while ago. And look, we're all in this boat together, right? So let's make it out together. Not together, because that ship has sailed a long time ago. At least make it out on your own. And then when you get out, don't do something like you saw the video I made a couple of days ago. Black woman going to Thailand. She said, "Oh, I need to get out for the same reason." That was this video right here, right? Shamed us and then couldn't shame us because he's in the same boat and wanted Asian older men to not be boring. Of course, older men are boring. What are you talking about? Like, do you want a relationship or not? Go along and get along and, but no, you can't do that because they're trying to bring feminism across these waters, and that's not right.
Like about the age of disclosure conversation that's happening here on TikTok is that it's bringing reality back into the conversation. I feel like over the past few years, everyone feels silent about their battles and the struggles that they were facing, and to portray this image of perfection and of one of not struggling, right? And I feel like it's not been until recently that people have started to really become vulnerable about the things that they're facing and the challenges that they're going through behind closed doors. And my first experience with battling something silent was homelessness. Behind closed doors, I didn't have a stable foundation. Behind closed doors, I was without a home. I was homeless. However, on the surface, you wouldn't have been able to tell. You wouldn't have been able to see that. And it was something that I was going through silently. And I feel like the age of disclosure is breaking down those barriers for people to be able to express exactly what they're going through and exactly how they feel and the exact hardships that they're facing. For me, my disclosure moment to join the conversation is that as of right now, I'm literally battling with the idea of paying my utility bill, my utilities.
I gotta stop it right there, right? Because the video goes on for another 2 minutes. But this is why that loud talk goes around. I need a man to pay my bills, right? You heard her. She just said buying food for the next. See, everybody's struggling. When I left many years ago, I wasn't struggling, but I was on the brink of it. Not struggling, but as many explorers said, right? I felt stuck. Just like she feels stuck right now. I'm not doing this to shame her. I'm not. I'm saying you have to figure it out. And what has to happen is you need time to breathe. Seriously. Being in America and also being with the Joneses, right? Being with the Joneses. Because she was broke, right? She always made sure she looked nice. She went outside looking like she has it all. And you have to not care about that, right? Maybe you ladies can get humble and get back on the program. You always say, oh, forget the patriarchy. No, it's not about the patriarchy. What it is ladies should be linked with a man, like the old days, and not thousands of years ago. 20, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, before no fault divorce came in. If you, I don't know if you ladies realize, since no fault divorce came in, things went downhill. It wasn't the fact that they made that to save anybody. When they made no fault divorce, a lot of ladies took advantage. They said, "Oh, this is my way out," and everything went downhill. Now men don't trust.
Casanova for bringing up this topic because with the way social media is, the way people like to glamorize and make everything look perfect, like they're rich, they got money, they this, they that, seeing all these people buy things and all of this, we need to talk about the reality side of things, okay? Because a lot of us are struggling. We all know how I talk about how much I hate this job, but let's talk about how I got here, okay? Before I worked at this job, I was working at
I gotta pause it right there because I have to tell her. So I'm gonna finish her video right here, right? Because I don't want us to hear too much about struggle talk, right? But I want to make a point, and I'm gonna show that video. I'm gonna share it a little bit on here because I shopped at the outlets. I went to Genting Highlands outlets with my wife. I talked about it recently. Yeah, I did talk about it in the last video, but I'm gonna speak about it again because as you see, I hold it dear to my heart, right? When I first moved here, and I still somewhat have a problem with overspending, right? So I'm working on getting that together right now. But what happens is when I went to the outlets the other day, I said it before I even came here, I'm not going to buy things. And I went there. Of course, I have to buy things to live, but I went there and I said, I don't want any of this stuff. If I don't see a deal I like, I'm not doing it. I saw sneakers for $60, didn't want to do it. I was looking more in the $40 range. And if I would have seen something that stuck out to me, I would have got it. I didn't see anything. They did have some deals there. I said, none of this is for me. I saw certain things were deals I didn't think were deals. So I didn't buy anything. And my wife got a very inexpensive dress. So that's how we live. And guess who is on top of me about not overspending? My wife. My wife is on top of me about it. Ain't that something?
All this we was sold in America. You gotta get your credit score up, bro. You gotta get your credit score. Ain't no such thing as credit score down here. Ain't no such thing as three times the rent down here. Ain't no such thing as let me see your job. What your job paying down here? Ain't no such thing as, you know what I'm saying?
Got
Hey,
the
bro,
money
you
that's
need a
what
car
matters.
down here. You don't need no car. Ain't no such thing as like rent $2,000-$3,000 just to stay. So nigga, I stay $700 USD. You know what I'm saying? My electricity is like $20. Nigga, my Wi-Fi like $10. My Netflix is $8. My Prime is $6. May I go on? You know what I'm saying? This is how living an American dream supposed to be. It's outside of America. America, we got a lot of opportunities, but it's like, nigga, you make $10,000, but your bill's $9,500. So who really
Yeah.
winning? You know what I'm saying? We supposed to be able to enjoy our lives, enjoy the fruits of our labor. A lot of people ain't enjoying the fruits of their labor. A lot of them every single day, getting up, chasing them.
So you hear the difference, right? And how will these men influence? Understand what's happening. Men are being told the right things. I'm not trying to shame you, ladies. Men are being told to do this. So what's happening? Men are doing it, and they're like, "Wow, I'm actually happy. The stress is off me." Men are looking out, right?
Assalamu alaikum. Why would I choose this piece? Go back to America where everybody's sitting up, gang banging, running around in 90-degree weathers with ski masks on. Why would I leave this? Why? For what? What? Like, let me know. Somebody, let me know. Why would I choose to go back into a toxic situation like this and I'm here? Nobody got guns. You don't hear no gunshots. You don't hear no crazy music. Why would I go back? Are y'all crazy? You get these messages when you going back. Never. What, are you crazy? Y'all stuck on stupid, man.
Same thing I said.
I'm talking about when you going back. Ain't you ready to go back? For what? Man, y'all crazy. That's the problem. Y'all nuts, man. Stuck on stupid. Y'all the problem. You know, yeah, I figured it out.
Yeah. There's a difference. there is a difference. And if a female watches this video, you can't take it personal because you go, oh, look, they're doing that. And they're also, this is not a shaming video. I just wanted to talk about the shame. And you notice I'm not showing any shaming videos.
Somebody from a whole different country really realize how weird your own country is. So my wife, she Japanese, right? So one thing that's like a big.
So the first brother's in the Philippines, the second brother's in Thailand, the third brother's like maybe somewhere in one of the Spanish countries, and this brother, I think Japan. Yeah, Japan. Let's continue.
Culture shock. In Japan, they don't tip. Tipping is not a thing. So to my wife, how restaurants in America work, like servers, they don't be getting paid. So we got expected to pay them. That just straight blew her mind, bro. Blew her mind. Another thing, the first time we went to an American restaurant, we ordered our food, got our plates. She was like, wait, my food came first. She was like, wait, oh, we gonna share this, right? The portion's just crazy. You know Japan, I ain't gonna lie. Portions be small. You would eat at a Japanese restaurant.
You heard what he said? They try to make you fat. The portions is off the wall. It's like that. Even when you're in the Philippines, yes, the food may not be all that great as Japan, but the portions are smaller.
We'll still be home. All right, can we go to McDonald's now? And don't even get me started on the drink sizes, bro. We went to a restaurant or whatever. We get the little drinks. She was like, oh, okay, what is this? An extra large? I said, no, this a medium. Now, every time she started noticing something about America, I'm just like, dang, I noticed that too. I just get to tweak it.
And check this out. It's not only us doing it.
I had to leave the country. I sold majority of everything, all of my valuables. Well, I gave my car away. I did not renew my condo. Overseas, they paid for my apartment. I did not have any more car note, any car payments. I was now in a city where public transportation was top notch. All the money that I got, I was able to finally save because they covered my apartment. Now, living overseas was not easy. I went through a lot living over there, but it was one of those things that gave me access to finally feel financially comfortable. And now that I'm back in the US, I am with no kids, I invest and I put money towards my high yield and I have good credit. And I still am genuinely just like, oh my gosh, this can all change. And it shouldn't be like that. Then that brings me back to where I'm seeing a lot of y'all going through, or paying this, but you don't know if you're going to be able to pay this then, and then now this is late, and I remember what that felt like. I remember the stress that I went through, and all I have is words of encouragement to just know it does get better. You may have to think out the box, and sometimes that box might look like another country.
Yeah, but one thing she did say, if you did notice, well, not the fourth guy, but three of the guys, they're talking about never leaving, right? She went back. That's the issue. I don't know why she went back. Maybe she felt like she had to, but the key is, it's of course to visit, but never go back long term. That's the key. But then you have things like this still happen. I saw this video. This video came out in February. It still happened.
And I came to the realization that the whole passport bro thing is a real thing. I thought it was a myth, but men are really using their passports and flying out of the country to go get some from other women in another country. So we were trying to find this club, and these two guys were like, hey, are you lost? Do you need help? And they, took us around the corner. They helped us get around the corner to find, so it wasn't where we were trying to go, but they were trying to show us some other place. I do not know how the whole fact that they were passport bros came out, but I was just like, what? The guy goes, I'm not even gonna lie. Now, first of all, he was a very attractive guy. I'm looking like, dang, he's fine. He goes, I'm not even gonna lie. I live with my girl and my kids, but she doesn't have sex with me.
Oh.
Oh, I've been coming to the DR for the past 8 years. Sir, the reason why your girl ain't having sex with you is because she knows you've been going to the DR giving your stuff to another woman for
No, 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 no. What did you just say? I didn't look at this video. It's his fault?
the past 8 years. Like, come on now. And he was there for his birthday. So if you're not spending your birthday with me, I know you're going someplace else to get your birthday poom poom from somebody else. That's what I would think. So no, she's not like they're telling us these stories. I was like, these men are wild. Like, I was like, this is crazy. I can't believe people are actually flying out of the country to have sex with random women. I said, oh, so that's why men aren't looking at American women.
All right, so I gotta skip this because we already know those guys in that passport bros, those guys are sex bats. But you do have some passport bros that do that for long term in certain countries. And you know what? I do consider them passport bros. I gotta say something, right? Because she's a female. She would never understand. But I'm a man, and I don't hate on any man because I understand men have needs, right? So, do you know? I'm sure you guys have seen it on TikTok. To bar find a female in these countries is like around. I'm not into that. I'm married, right? But understand it's around $15 to $25. And have you seen some of the girls in these countries? Could you imagine getting? I don't do it, but could you imagine getting one of them for $15 to $25? You see something walking up the block with the boom, boom, pow, bing, slamming, and sometimes guys are getting that and not meeting there, actually finding these ladies to be their wives. And if she's not boom, pow, 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 she's submissive, friendly, cooperative. Men are choosing the latter. So what's happening is now they're struggling. Maybe she may not be struggling, but you see, the ones talking, they're struggling. As even the last lady said, she went overseas and to make it happen, and then got on top of her feet and then went back. So, but what happened is she had to create a whole different mentality outside of the West, and that's what men are doing. Men are actually, like when I say it all the time, men are choosing the latter. That's real because we are. But yeah, y'all, thank y'all for watching. Be sure to subscribe. I put a lot of thought into these videos. But thank you guys for watching. Also, be sure to check out my consultations. I've really been doing this. Like, I can show you, I've been doing this literally for 15 years. You can see that. I can go back 15 years and show you the first contract I ever gotten online. This is real, right? But yeah, guys, thank y'all for watching. Peace out. See you next video.
The Iceman is coming!
Winter is here.